What if the moment you doubt everything is actually the moment you are closest to something real? This is episode 6. The same street, the same light, but tonight a thin fog has settled. Soft, low, drifting. The streetlight still glows, but its edges are blurred, uncertain of itself, like a truth seen through doubt. 3:51 in the morning. He wakes and something is different. Not weight, not restlessness. A question, arriving before he is ready for it. He sits on the edge of the bed, same cold floor, same amber line under the door. But tonight, his hands are not open, not closed, just held loosely together, like a man holding a question that has no shape yet. 6 nights now, sitting, feeling, remembering, opening, and tonight, the mind does what minds always do when they have been honest for too long. It turns around and asks, but is any of this real? He doesn't go to the window tonight. He sits at the kitchen table, both hands flat on the wood. A cup of tea, made and forgotten. Cold now. The table feels like the right place to sit with a question that needs something solid beneath it. Here is the thing about doubt. It does not arrive loudly. It arrives like a quiet voice that says, are you sure? Are you really sure? Or are you just performing sincerity in an empty room? Because he knows himself. He knows he is capable of stories, even alone, even at 3 in the morning, even in the dark, with no audience. And that knowledge, that honest self-awareness, is what makes the doubt so difficult to dismiss. He thinks about faith, not as a rule, not as a ritual, as something personal, something that used to feel like breathing, natural, effortless, constant. And now, it requires the kind of effort that breathing requires when you become conscious of it. Have you ever noticed that the moment you think about breathing, it stops being automatic? That is what has happened to his faith. He became too conscious of it, and it stopped feeling natural. He lets the doubt be enormous. He doesn't shrink it. He doesn't argue with it. He doesn't perform certainty to himself, because there is no audience for that performance. What if this reaching is into nothing? He lets that question fill the whole room. The fog outside presses softly at the kitchen window. He sits inside it, small, honest, and does not pretend. And then, beneath the doubt, something quieter, a question underneath the question. But what if it isn't nothing? And here is what I want you to understand about that moment. He did not choose that counter question. It arrived on its own. And something that arrives on its own, from beneath your doubt, from the part of you that you did not manufacture, that is worth paying attention to. He sits with it, and then notices something he did not expect. The doubting hurts, not dramatically, not in crisis, just quietly aches, and the aching means something was there to lose. You do not grieve the loss of something that was never real. You do not ache over empty space. The fact that doubt hurts means what you are doubting matters to you. And the things that matter to you are the most honest map of who you really are. He sits at the kitchen table, the fog outside, soft, luminous, backlit by a world that is still there, and understands the doubt itself was the most honest proof he had found all week. You don't doubt nothing. You only doubt something real. Ending, his story is not over. Next time, he stops fighting. He lies on the floor. He says 2 words to the quiet, and something, finally, shifts. The story continues in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you were doubting tonight, Do not be afraid of it. Your doubt is not your enemy. It is proof that something in you still cares enough to question. And that is the beginning of everything. Subscribe to Soft Awakening. Every week, one story, one quiet truth, one moment that changes how you see everything. Soft Awakening. See you in the next part.